Hong Kong's first national security law case will proceed without a jury. A top court has upheld a decision to exclude jurors from proceedings, likely setting a precedent for future cases. The landmark decision marks a departure from Hong Kong's common law tradition where criminal trials are heard before a judge and jury. Tong Ying-kit will appear before 3 High Court judges tomorrow. He's facing secession and terrorism charges under the national security law. The 24-year-old is accused of riding his motorcycle into police officers while carrying an illegal protest banner on July 1st last year. Roland Lim joins us live now for more. Roland, the courts have said that jury safety is the key reason behind their decision. How will this impact the trial?
Well, for one thing, this case will be closely watched. Tong Ying-kit, of course, is the first local to be charged under Hong Kong's national security law. So it'll be closely watched for the procedures, for the arguments, what can and cannot be relied on by the defense, as well as how the court will eventually interpret the national security laws as it applies to this particular case. Now, his trial starts Wednesday and will continue into the middle of next month. He is, of course, accused of inciting secession and terrorist activities. This, as you said, after he rammed a motorcycle displaying a protest flag which read, "Liberate Hong Kong, Revolution of Our Times," into 3 policemen in Wan Chai last year. This on July 1st. That was the day after the security law came into force here in the city. Now, he's facing a maximum sentence of life in prison. So already we've learned that the national security law can supersede local law. Article 46 of the national security law was invoked by the Justice Secretary, which may direct that any such cases be heard without a jury if it involves state secrets or foreign forces, or if there's potential jurors or families that might face a threat. Now, Tong's legal team tried to argue for a trial by a jury, but was turned down. Now, in an appeal, senior counsel Philip Dykes also unsuccessfully argued that the prosecutorial decision was protected from interference under the basic law, that's Hong Kong's mini constitution. But Justice Jeremy Poon upheld the lower court's decision and reason, saying that a non-jury trial under the national security law is not open to a conventional judicial review challenge, that its constitutionality, the national security law's constitutionality, cannot be challenged by the local courts. Now, the judge also said that neither the Basic Law or the Hong Kong Bill of Rights specifies that a trial by jury is an indispensable element for a fair trial. So what will be highlighted in open court hearings starting Wednesday is that contrast with civil law, which the national security law was drafted under, applied to Hong Kong's common law system. So it will be a case cleanly watched, especially by legal experts.
And in a separate case, Roland, a pro-democracy activist also charged under the national security law has been granted bail.
Right. Owen Chow, he is the 12th to be granted bail out of 47 suspects. They are all facing either charges for subversion, for taking part in a pro-democracy camp's Legislative Council primary elections last year. After he was granted bail, his supporters outside the court told local reporters that the court's decision was unexpected. High Court Judge Esther To says that there were sufficient grounds to believe that he would not continue to commit acts of endangering national security if bail was granted. Now, her written judgment will be released later. But his bail conditions remains the same as the other 11 who have been released previously, and that is that he's to surrender his travel documents, he cannot leave Hong Kong, he has to report to the police every evening, observe an overnight curfew, and cannot be in contact with any prosecution witnesses. The judge also told Chow not to make any speeches or take part in any behavior that could be seen to be endangering national security. The 47 national security suspects, of course, are set to appear in a committal proceedings next month on July 8th, and that's when the court will actually formally try to have the application for their cases to be transferred to the High Court. That's because defendants convicted in the High Court can actually face a maximum of life in prison.
All right, Roland, thank you very much for that update. Roland Lim there in Hong Kong.